Hello, everybody, and welcome to another fabulous day in the Villages, Florida. It is 11 o'clock, a little bit afterwards, and we're going to be doing the most wonderful time of the year will be our song for now. And yes, Christmas time is one of the most wonderful, fabulous times of the year. So what a wonderful thing. It is a waltz. It is a three-quarter time song, but it goes fast, so watch it. This actually, I'm going to give you some trivia about this song. It was recorded and released by pop singer Andy Williams for his very first Christmas album. They didn't release it that year as a single. They released White Christmas as his single from that album. Now, the guy who wrote it, Mr. George Weil, he was actually employed by Williams, and he was the vocal director for the Andy Williams Show. And he wrote all the pieces, all the harmonies and the duets, and did all the arrangements for all the music that he did on his show. And he actually wrote this song for the show, and never knowing that it was going to become one of the top 10 Christmas songs of all time. You know, fabulous, fabulous song. Many other people have sung it, and you probably remember a couple years back, the Staples office supply used it in July, and they always showed the guy on the cart, and he had his leg up, and he's going by. Woo! It's the most wonderful time of the year, getting your kids back to school.
Yes, yes, yes.
So it has been used for other things other than just Christmas time. All right, let's take a look. First of all, you have a road map. And if, as you can see, I have 4 pages strung out because it's the easiest way to get from verse to verse. So if you guys have to be turning pages, it might be a little more difficult, but you can do it. You're going to need 1, 2, 3 different colors. 3 different colors if you're marking your music in colors. And follow the lyrics. The lyrics will always tell you where you're supposed to be going. So the first verse takes you all of page 1, and the second page, your first ending starts at the beginning of line 2 and goes to the end of line 3. So be careful of that. That's a very, very long first ending. Then at the end of that, at the end of line 3, you have 2 dots, a thin line, and then a big thick line. Those are your repeat dots. Make that a color. Mine's yellow. And take it all the way back to the dots that are facing the opposite direction at the beginning of the song. You will never find repeat dots in the middle of a measure. They will always, always be on the measure. So that's why you have the pickup notes before the dots, and then it comes in after your pickup notes at the beginning of the song.
Mm-hmm.
So make those dots the same color. So your eyes will see yellow goes back to yellow. Now we're going to do verse 2. All right, so we're going to do all of page 1, the first line of page 2. Then I put a little colorful 2 at the end of the line and traced the 2 in the second ending at the beginning of line 4. So I have a blue 2 and a blue 2. And if you want to put an arrow, go ahead. But that tells me the second verse, I'm going to the second ending. That's the easiest way to tell. Now the second ending has an open bracket. That means that it's going to continue. So you're going to play the rest of page 2, turn the page, play all of page 3, and at the bottom of the page you have 2 thin lines. That always tells you it's the end of a section. The end of a section, and then there's some instructions there. So I made my 2 thin lines pink. Just use a different color. It says DS al coda. Return to the silly sign, and then you're going to look for the to coda and skip to the coda. Well, first we got to find the silly sign. Guess what? It's the same place as the dots. So go ahead and make, if you used pink here, make your silly sign pink. That way your eyes can see you're going back to that. Now we're going to do verse 3, all of page 1, the top line of page 2, and there you see the to coda. Now remember, you never go backwards to a coda sign. Codas only send you forwards. And coda means tail in Italian. And tail is always the end. And it's the final ending. So that coda sign, which looks like a periscope, make that a different color. I made mine green. You can make yours whatever color you want. And then find the coda. It's on the 4th page, right at the beginning. So make it the same color so that you're, and if you want to put a little arrow on it, so you know, coda goes forward. Coda always goes forward. You never go backwards to a coda. Then you're going to finish the song by playing the last page. Now, it goes fast. So even though there's 4 pages, and even though you're going back to play it 3 times, this song goes fast. Those of you that have songs set up, you will have Wonderful Waltz, which is the signature style for this song. And Bill Curry must have been drinking a lot of coffee that day because he had it at 180. I find 180 to be a little speedy. 160 is much better. 160 is still no slouch, but it'll at least give your fingers a chance to catch up. Now, that being said, when you are learning the song, slow it down even more. And we'll play it today. I'll play it very slow for you so that you can play along with it. Why? Because I have some fabulous chords. Now remember, chords are optional. This is an intermediate advanced class, which means I'm going to throw it all at you, but you are absolutely under no obligation to play any of it. You can just play the chords that are there, and it's going to sound fine. And because it's a waltz, any waltz will work, but I truly love the jazz waltz. Now, what if you don't have a jazz waltz? Basic waltz with the alter style gives you that same feeling of a jazz waltz. Also, your modern jazz waltz, if you have that, works very well. And if you have one of the smaller instruments, it's your waltz full band. Waltz full band is going to be absolutely fine. So any waltz will probably do it. I don't think I'd play this on a country waltz. That might be one I might not. Even an oompapa waltz or a carousel waltz would give this a whole different flavor. So do not be afraid to try things. Wow.
The waltz full band, that's Bojangles.
Nope. Waltz full
No.
band is an easy waltz.
Okay.
It's an easy waltz.
Dawn, you said jazz waltz, waltz full band, and what was the other 1 or 2?
Basic waltz with the alter style.
Okay.
And that we're just talking backgrounds right now. We haven't even started with the
Right.
sounds. What kind of sounds can you use on this? Well, your George Shearing sound, which is a combination of vibes, piano, and guitar, sounds excellent on Christmas songs. Now, how do I know this? Well, because if you go to your song setup, those of you that have song setup, and most of you do, unless you have one of the very small instruments or one of the older instruments, song setup, go to the Christmas songs and check and see what sounds they gave you. Check and see what Bill Curry gave you for sounds. You can steal those sounds. Use them for some of your other songs. Shearing sound comes up for the Christmas song. So that's how I know it's a perfect Christmas. And my ears tell me it's a perfect Christmas sound to use. The number 1 sound for most Christmas songs is bells. And bells can also be vibes. Do not overlook the fact that vibes make a fabulous bell sound. And then, if you use vibes, you can also boost your vibes or your bells with your tabs. Because what happens if you just play a vibe sound? Let's just go to something. Let's get out of this for now. Let's just go to vibes. Okay, just the vibes. Oh, I got something else going yet. Still got something going. Okay. I'm going to go to Latin, and I know Latin gives me some just vibes, because I want you to just listen to what happens to the sound. It decays.
Yeah.
It decays. Any of your bells, once you strike a bell, and the little clapper dies down, or the bell stops vibrating, the sound is going to stop. A vibraphone is a metal tube. When you hit it with a mallet, it vibrates. What's going to happen? Eventually that sound is going to stop. The same thing with a piano or a guitar string. A piano, you strike the key, the hammer hits the string vibrates, but eventually that vibration is going to stop. It's called decay. So if you're using any of those sounds for your Christmas sounds, I like to pad them with something that's going to keep it nice and smooth while that other sound decays. Your tabs are perfect for that. So what's in your tabs? Flutes. What are flutes? They're organ sounds. So if I touch some organ sounds, hear how the sound now continues? Because that organ sound is going to stay as long as my finger is on this key. Or strings, your yellow strings. That will also help. The vibes have already decayed. The strings are going to continue. Or your vocal ensemble. Hear how the vibes have already decayed and your vocals are holding. So those are excellent ways to design your own Christmas sounds. I would also check your rhythm presets and see if there's anything in there that already has strings and bells or choir and bells, and go into your category more. By the way, I am on the Imperial today for your listening pleasure. So if you go to your categories, you should have some bells, and you should have a holiday category. If you don't, see me after class. I'll be more than happy to fix you up with them. But those have given some fabulous sounds for your Christmas songs if you don't happen to have the Christmas song of your choice in song setup. All right, if I went too fast on that, don't be afraid to ask me some questions or send me an email and say, wait a minute, I missed everything you said, and I'll be more than happy to go over it with you again. Let's do some chords. Why? Because I can. And because it's going to make your song sound so good. All right. First page. The C chord is fine. The A minor, you may wish to put a 7 on the A minor. That would mean C, G, and A. But remember, 7s are optional, so you only need the C and the A. Line 2. Your D minor, put a 7 on it. And again, 7s are optional, but if you wish to use it, it is C, D, F. The next G, make it a G7. Now those 4 chords in a row, that's one of the most common chord progressions, especially in 50s music, but in any kind of music actually. C, A minor, D minor, G7. So you're going to find that repeats an awful lot throughout this song. All right, the C chord is fine all by itself. The A minor at the end of line 2, you may put a 7 on it. By the way, the G, put a 7 on that one. I don't know if I said that. The A minor, put a 7 on it. Line 3, the D minor, put a 7 on it. The G, put a 7 on it. The D minor, 7. Last line on that page, the G, put a 7 on it. Now, I'm going to change this next chord. Cross out the E minor, and let's exchange it for a C major 7, chicken major 7. Your 2 notes are C and B, chickens and butterflies. Cross out the A minor at the end of that page and replace it with C7, chicken 7, which is C and B flat, flat butterflies. Let's go to the top of page 2. Cross out the D minor and replace it with F, fish. Cross out the D7 and replace it with C diminished, which is a 2-fingered chord. It is C and F sharp. Your rules for diminished are the letter plus 6. Now, for those of you that want to explore a little more, you may make it a C diminished 7. Now, that's a 4-fingered chord, so you don't have to play it, but try it. I think you might like it. What are the notes? C, E flat, F sharp, A. What's the rule for making a 4-fingered diminished 7 chord? The letter plus 3 more, and plus 3 more. So you're just going to keep counting up 3. 3, 3 more, 3 more, 3 more. Or just play C and F sharp and it'll sound fine. Let's go to the first ending, the second line. The C chord is good for 1 measure. Measure 2 over the G for wonderful. Put an A minor or an A minor 7. Cross out the G and replace it with D minor or D minor 7. The next measure, the 4th measure of that line over the blacked-in quarter note, put in your G or G7. There you have that chord progression again. C, A minor, D minor, G7. Now, the next line. Cross out the C. We're going to really make this a fun chord. Cross out the C and replace it with E, flat, major, 7. You're going to love how this sounds. E, flat, major 7. Now, what's the rule for major 7? The letter minus 1. So your 2 notes are D and E flat. You're going to hear it and you're going to go, wow, that's really cool. Now we're changing the note too, but when we do the fingering, I'll go back and change the note for you. So we're not going to play the C note, we're going to play a G note instead. Let's continue with the chords. Cross out the A minor and throw it away. You're going to stay on E flat major 7 for 2 measures. The D minor, you may put a 7 on it, and the G, you may put a 7 on it. Let's go to the next line. The E minor is fine. The A minor is fine. You may put a 7 on the D minor, and you may put a 7 on the G. Last line on the second page. The G minor, you may put a 7 on the G minor. Second measure over that whited in dotted half note, C or C7. The next measure, cross out the C and replace it with G minor, gorilla minor, or G minor 7. Your 3 notes on that are F, G, B flat. And the last measure over the quarter rest, beat 1, put your C back in, and you might want to put a 7 on it, C7. C and B flat. Okay, let's go to the third page. Make the F an F major 7. F major 7, which would be the note just underneath it. E and F are your 2 notes. Cross out the D minor in measure 2 and replace it with C diminished or C diminished 7. So you're either going to play a 2-fingered chord, which is C and F sharp, or a 4-fingered chord, which is C, E flat, F sharp, A. So if you
Well, I
want
think you did this before. I think you used an F sharp diminished 7th.
it's the same thing. It's the exact same chord. That's the cool thing about diminished 7s. There's only 3 of them. Just depends on which note's on the bottom. Seriously, they're pretty
Yeah.
cool.
And
The
it
E
changes.
minor is good. Next line, you may put a 7 on all 3 of those chords. A minor 7, D minor 7, G 7. Third line, the C chord is good for 1 measure. Next measure over the quarter rest, you may add a 7 to that C and make it a C7, C and B flat. The next measure is F minor. You may put a 7 on that one. Now, F minor by itself is F and A flat, and if you want to add the 7, it's E flat, F, A flat. Let's go to the next line. B flat, you may put a 7 on it. Your two notes are A flat and B flat. The rule for 7s is the letter -2. The E flat in measure 2, make it an E flat major 7, capital M-A-J 7, and that would be D and E flat. Cross out the A flat in the next measure and replace it with C minor, chicken minor, which would be C and E flat. All right. The F minor in the next line is optional. You can just play the F minor, or if you're adventuresome, you can play a D minor 7 flat the 5th. It's a 4-fingered chord. Here's your 4 notes. C, D, F, A flat. Notice the F and the F and the A flat are in there, so you could play the F minor. But the difference in sound is this. Here's the F minor. Here's the D minor 7 flat the 5th. It gives it a little more flavor, that's all. Measure 2 over the F quarter note for the word long. Put in an A flat or an A flat 7. A flat 7 is G flat and A flat. Now this next one, you can play a G7 or you can learn a new chord, a G sus, S-U-S, which is a 3-fingered chord, or you can play a G7 sus, which is a 4-fingered chord. So I'm going to give you your choice. Now what's the difference? The susses are hanging chords, and your notes for a G sus are, let's see if I can get this right, C, D, and G. It hangs, and if you add the 7, it's the F. That's the cool chord. C, D, F, G.
Oh, C, D, F, G?
C, D, F, G is a G7 sus.
Oh,
Now, if you just want to play G sus, it's C, D, G,
right.
which is okay. Or you can just play your G7, but the G sus 7 is really cool. That's the cool chord. Okay, let's go to the last page. The C is fine for 2 measures. You may put a 7 on the D minor. Second line, G, you may put a 7 on it, F and G. And the C, make it a C major 7, C capital M-A-J 7. Your 2 notes are C and B, chickens and butterflies. The third line, you may put a 7 on the D minor. You may put a 7 on the G. Make the C a C major 7. Your 2 notes are C and B. Let's go to the 4th line. You may put 7s on both those chords. D minor 7, G7. The last line. Cross out the D minor in measure 2 and put there instead an A flat. A flat. Just put your thumb on A flat. That's pretty easy. Cross out the C, and we're going to put 2 chords in that measure, a D minor or a D minor 7 and a G7. And then the very last measure is going to be a C. Go back to the C. D minor, G7, C is the chord progression. Any questions? I know I did a lot and I did it kind of fast.
Yeah, Dawn, on the page 3 at the bottom where you played the G7 sus,
Uh-huh.
do you have to put any other chords after that? You said it was a hanging chord, so.
It's a hanging chord. Now, you can leave it hanging and go right to the C, or if your ear is starting to say, I need it to resolve, you can always resolve it back to the G7. You can always go, you can always do this. If it sounds bad to you, you can go G7 sus, G7. But you can start the song, and I'm going to show you how we're going to start the song actually with a G suspended fourth 7.
Dawn, could I ask you one question?
Yes, ma'am, you may.
On page 2, line 3, first measure, you said cross off the C and
Correct.
change it to an E flat major 7th.
Correct.
And are those, I got D, E flat, and what is it?
No, it's just D and E flat. Just D and E
Yes.
flat. It's just a 2-fingered chord.
It's okay. So
Yeah.
'cause it's
It's
a
just
major.
D and E flat.
So it's just D and E flat. Somehow I
Yes,
got
ma'am.
better and it didn't make sense. Okay.
Okay.
thank you. Got it.
On the top of page 3,
Yes.
what was that whole measure again?
Okay. Top of page 3, first line. The F is an F major 7, which is E and F, just those 2 fingers. And then we're going to cross out the D minor and replace it with C diminished, or you can try a C diminished 7 if you want to.
And what were the notes for that?
C diminished 7 is C, E flat, F sharp, A. Or if you want to just play 2 fingers, it's C and F sharp.
Okay.
Dawn,
Anybody else?
Dawn. Hey, Dawn,
Yes.
this is Robert. On page 2,
Uh-huh.
the third measure, you had change that to a C7.
A C diminished or a
C
C
diminished.
diminished 7.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yep, it's either the same thing. It's either a C diminished, which is C and F sharp, or it's the C diminished 7, which is those 4 fingers, C, E flat, F sharp, and A. Yep, I'm stretching you a little bit here. I'm stretching you. Why? Because I can.
Yeah.
Because I can.
Okay. It's okay.
All right. Any questions? I'll do fingering after I play the song. Okay? I want you to hear it. And I'm going to start. I'm on Jazz Waltz. And it comes up to the shearing. I actually I think I went to rhythm preset 9, which gave me the shearing sound on top. And it gave me a trumpet sax combination on the bottom. You can always use horns, always, for Christmas music. It's always going to make it sound cool. All right, so I'm going 160, and instead of using one of the intros, I'm actually going to play a G suspended fourth 7, a G7 sus, and I'm going to use my virtuoso. Whoops, I played the wrong chord. How could I do that? Oh, let's go back and do that first ending again. There it is. Okay. Sorry about that. That was the best part of the whole song, and I messed it up.
Are you going to?
No.
No worries. Okay. You see how fast that goes?
Yeah.
This is a joyous song. You want to
Yeah.
get in a good mood. This is a
Good for your
fabulous song
fingers.
to play because it will put you in a good mood. Even if you make a mistake on the chords, it'll still put you in a good mood. All right. Any questions before I do fingering? Nope. Okay. Pencils out.
Dawn, one question. When you
Uh-huh.
made a change in the sound at every repeat, is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much. All I did
Okay.
was go back and forth. Now you can
Yeah.
set up your presets. You can set up your presets any way you want. You can have a different sound for every verse if you want.
Okay.
Okay? And yeah, and don't worry about which ones you use because at Christmas time, it's fun to use them all.
Okay.
It really is. Okay. You don't have to be subtle in this song. We don't have to do subtle changes. We can do drastic changes because it moves fast. It's a very dynamic, it's a very upbeat song, and you want the most fun sounds that you can think of for this.
Okay.
All right, let's do fingering, and there's more than one choice on some of these. So pretty much wherever your fingers want to go is going to work. E1, F2, G3, check mark. G2, C5, A3. Second line, G2, F1, D2, circle it, you're going to cross it over, C1. Okay, the third line, there's two different ways to do it. I'm only going to give you one, and then if you don't like that, let me know and I'll give you the other one. D1, E2, F3, D1, D1. Next line, D1, E2, F3, G4. You might want to put an arrow on this next one. Actually, it doesn't matter. E1, 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 F2, G3, A4 on the top of the next page, F1, A3, C5. Now, there's 100 other different ways your fingers can move there, so try a few things. If it's close and your fingers are getting there smoothly, you're good. All right, the end of the first line, B4, A3. First ending, G2, G2, C5, A3, G2, F1, D2 with a circle, cross it over, and then cross out the C and make it a G on the second line, and you're going to use your fifth finger. And that's going to make that real pretty sound that I totally messed up. That is so cool. That's the sound. If you just go down to the C and play the C and the A minor, it's a little bit boring.
Replace it with G.
Yes.
That's the
that
beginning
C
of the third
note,
line.
the beginning note at the beginning of line 3, replace the
Right.
C with a G and stay on that E flat major 7 chord for 2 measures.
Okay.
As much effects as you want, as much of this as you want, that's all cool.
What's the number?
The number's a 5. Make the G a 5. Your pickup notes are E1 and F2 before you go back to the beginning. Let's go to the next line, the second ending. G2, G2, B5, A4, G3, F2, D1. The B flat can either be 4 or 5, whichever one gets there first. C1, C1. Let's go to the next page. A3, 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 A3. B4, A3, G2, G2, G2. G2, C5, G2, F1, 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 F1. Why did I do that? A4, G3, E1. That's why, because I'm coming down to the E. And again, if you fingers find a different way, that's okay there. Check mark. C1, C1. A flat 3, A flat 3, A flat 3. Fourth line, A flat 3, B flat 4, A flat 3, G2, 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 A flat 3, G2. The last line of that page, F1, 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 E flat 2. Circle it, you are crossing it over. F3, G4. Your pickup notes are E1, F2. Let's go to the coda, the next page. G2, G2, B4, A3, G2. Second line, E1, F2, G3, check mark. G2, D5. That G could have been a 1, by the way. Doesn't matter. 2 or 1. D5, C4, G2. E1, F2, G3, check mark. Now I'm going to explain why I did this that way. The next G is a 1. Usually I tell you don't ever take a breath in the middle of a phrase, but I'm going to play the word most as a staccato. It's the most. If you play it as a staccato, it gives you plenty of time to put a 1 on the next G. Usually I don't like you doing that. But look where I have to go. E5. That's why. C4, G1. B2, D4, and the last C is a 3. Any questions? This is a fun song. This really is. Okay, basic waltz. Now, if you, those of you that have basic, your background at 160 sounds like this. If you put it on alter, listen to what it does. It gives it that little bit of a jazz flavor. Okay, and I used strings and bells, which actually comes up to rhythm preset number 4. So it's already there. Rhythm preset 4 gives you the bells with the strings underneath. So that's what I'm using. And if you want, okay, I'm going to stop right there because I have other suggestions for you. If I go to modern jazz waltz, I went to the bells category and I used number 7, which gave me a combination of bells and vibes with strings. And on the bottom, I had a flugel because you can never go wrong with horns on a song like this. So I'm going to continue now and play the second verse. And I'll change sounds. Okay, and I'm going to stop right there because I have another suggestion for you. Those of you that have waltz full band on the easies, I've got it at 160. And if you've also got the presets, I'm using preset 0, which is the one that it comes up to. And I'm also using preset 8, which is, no, that wasn't the one, I'm sorry. Preset 8 has piano and strings. Remember I said the piano is also one that decays. And if you have piano and strings together, it is preset 8, by the way. And then it's got a horn ensemble on the bottom. So there's some suggestions for Christmas sounds for any of your songs. Any of your songs. Okay, so let's try the easy waltz. And again, if you wanted to play the G7, and actually that easy waltz has one of the best fill-ins for something like this to really make that just pop. Any questions?
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
This is a fun song. This is really a cool song. And like I said, if you
What's
need,
your favorite, Dawn? What's your
Pardon?
favorite back? What
Oh,
is your favorite
I think I
background?
like the jazz waltz the best. I usually pull up jazz waltz on this and play the shearing sound, but that's just because I've always done it that way. But the more I explored, the more I found some really cool things. And just about everything I played it on made me feel good. And that's a wonderful thing. This song makes me feel good. This is a song that should just brighten up your day if you're not feeling very well. Put this song up on your music rack and say, today I'm just going to brighten myself up with It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year. And we can count our blessings and just say, thank God we're here and enjoying our music and enjoying our loved ones. It's the perfect time of year, even if we can't get to them. With technology like this, we will always be in touch with our loved ones. Agreed?
Yep.
Okay, very
Would-
cool.
Dawn, would you please repeat the two chords that you started with the virtuoso?
Yes, the virtuoso, I used that G7 sus. Now, why did I do that? Because that just kind of gave me just a really cool sound here. Remember, your virtuoso depends on what chord you're playing. If you just would have played a C chord, which is the key the song is in, that's fine. If I would have played a G7 chord, which is the lead in, it's a chord of expectation. But when I played that sus and then did that, it just gave it such a really neat feeling.
Oh, so it was just one chord.
It was just the one chord. I just pick one. Just play a G sus7 or a G7, and it's going to give you that hanging feeling, but it translates to that virtuoso, and it's like
What are the-
rolling snow or bells coming up or something. It just gives you a good feeling with that.
Thank you.
I know the notes for the G7. What are the notes for the G7 sus?
G7 sus, C,
Yeah.
D, F, G. It's all the notes in a row except the E. It's kind of an easy one to play.
Yeah.
when you play that.
Okay, good.
And all I did was put 2 fingers on the virtuoso and just kind of do some scrubbing. And it just makes it like swirling snow. Here we go. You know, getting in the sleigh, getting ready to go.
Cool. That is so cool.
So I hope you learned at least one thing today. We have to decide on a song for next week. Okay, so I'm open for suggestions. The first person who calls it out, go ahead. What do you want?
Mary, did you know?
Mary, did you know? Is that in this book?
Yes.
It is.
116.
Perfect. Not in my
Oh,
book, but
yeah.
that's okay. But that's okay. If it's
Oh.
in the 5th edition, I will do
Yeah.
it because I have done Mary Did You Know. So we will do Mary Did You Know. And those of you who have the 4th edition or don't have it, shoot me an email and I will be very happy to get it to you. Mary Did You Know? Are there
We
any?
did this one other. We did Mary Did You Know another time, so it shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's Christmas time. Most of these songs we've probably already done. Yep, that's a
Oh,
fact.
no.
Yep.
Oh, that's okay. Okay. Makes it life easier.
Well, and if we can, I try to spice it up with giving you 1 or 2 new things to learn so that you can just enhance your playing. Because every time I play a song, I try every year, I pull out the same songs and I go, now what can I do to make this song better than last year? So I'm always trying new things.
This is good.
Excellent. You guys are awesome.
You're awesome.
Dawn,
Yes.
what are you doing on Monday's class?
Oh, I don't know. I don't have my list in front of me.
Okay,
Shoot me an email and I'll be more than happy to answer, okay?
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And
sounds
don't get old because you
So are
forget
you doing-
things.
Dawn, is Monday class using 215 too?
Yeah, we kind of decided that 215 has most of the
Oh,
really,
yeah.
yeah.
Especially,
Most people have this book.
it's a good idea.
So, you know, we can use there's so many Christmas songs and most of them are in most of the books. That's the thing too.
No, oh my gosh. There's a great one in here on page 96. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
It's a killer, but
I don't think-
what a great song.
And I think we should do Auld Lang Syne. Not that I'm worried about 2021, just want to make sure 2020 gets the help.
Oh,
The
fun.
3rd edition, I don't think has Mary Did You Know.
Yeah, the 4th edition does not. So for those of you that don't have it, because it sounds like it's only in the 5th edition, just give me an email, 5028@fletchermusic.com, and I will send you a copy because I've got that from another book.
Okay.
And will you
Okay.
let us Monday's song is?
I don't know. I don't remember. I honestly can't remember what we chose for Monday.
Will you shoot me an email, please?
I will.
Thank
I
you.
will. Or if you can,
Keep going.
that's Dottie,
Dawn,
right?
we didn't
Yeah.
choose anything. It was your choice.
Oh, okay, but I have stuff written down, so.
Thanks.
So if you
John.
need to know it early, send me an email and I'll be more than happy to go find it for you. Yes.
John, if you get it on page 96, it's beginning to look a
Yes.
lot like Christmas. Oh my God, you would play that awesome. I would take forever, but you know, it's really a challenge.
Yeah, it's different.
Holy
It's in
cow.
a different
Look at
page.
it.
It's in a different page in this book, if it's in here at all.
In
Yeah, I'm in
edition
edition
5?
4, and I don't have it, but I have it in a
Oh.
different. I have all the Christmas music. I've been doing this for so long.
Oh. It is so fast.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a good one because you've got a good finger exercise in it. Da 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 da. Yep, there's a good finger
I'm
exercise.
just looking at the beginning to look a lot like Christmas was written by Meredith Wilson, who also
Aha.
wrote the music.
Aha. Mm-hmm.
That's why
yeah.
it's got that
That's right.
76 trombone feel to it.
Mm-hmm. It does. So if you start taking a look at who wrote the songs and why, it really does give you an insight into, some of the music that we play. That's why I always try to give you a little bit of background. Okay. Very
Yeah.
cool. Very
Thank
cool.
you so much.
You guys are the bestest. Have a
Thank you.
fabulous weekend. Watch your emails for Christmas concert, and we'll see you
Okay.
on Zoom.
Hey, Dawn, are
Yeah.
they doing a program tonight or at 2:00 today?
Not sure.
I didn't see anything listed.
Yeah, I don't think there may not be. There may not be. But just keep checking your emails because they're all coming up.
No, I've been going to the website.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Website's been, I know the website got a little messed up this week because it's the beginning of a month, and I know some of my stuff was left off, and so, but that's the way it is. No worries. We fix it.
Dawn, when I come in, it takes me a while to find you, and I have to go all the way back to November 2nd. Is there a way to do it quicker?
Yeah.
Because other than just
Go to the
go to the
website. It
website.
should be on the home page. Just on that first page. When you go to the website, it should be on the first page. They should list all the classes for everybody in the company.
Yeah, they are, but is there a way to get
The
to it, to the
The
website?
easiest way is to go to the store location, and if you click the villages, it'll come up and it'll say which class Dawn is having on that day.
Yep.
Just
But
click on
it also puts me on the home page. It should put me on the home page too, in the middle of all the rest of them.
So,
So either way.
all right, so what do you go? I have to go all
Go
the way
to
back
Fletcher Music.
to
Nope,
November.
just go to FletcherMusic.com. Okay.
Okay,
And it'll say
Uh-huh.
teaching people, blah, blah, blah. And click on that. And then that very first page that comes up, I think you get 3 boxes across the top. Just keep scrolling. And it should be on that first page. If it's not, then go to locations, go to the villages, and then all my classes show up there too.
Yep.
Okay?
okay. Yep. All right.
Yep. So that's the new way to get to things.
Yeah. Okay.
You guys
Thank
are
you.
best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
Dawn.
great weekend. Go to the beach. Have a wonderful time.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.